Super Duper Variety Power Hour with your hosts, Bob Katie
and John Picarillo.
Rock and roll, shake it on down, shake it to the sound and rock and roll, shake it on down, shake it to the ground and rock and roll, shake it on down, shake it on.
Welcome to episode 212 of Bob and John's Super Duper Variety Power Hour.
Yeah, I'm not John, I'm Steve. Eventually, Bob will fix this problem.
Wow, mics are way too
hot. So are the headphones.
Wow, everything's way too.
Yeah,
everything got a little crazy. There, the mics are back under control. Okay, we're getting a grasp of it. Everything went a little haywire there for a minute.
Yeah, you got these blasting. That's why me and Jay both wear the headphones up, if you've noticed, off the ear.
Well,
because I think you have a hearing problem with John.
I don't have. You have a hearing problem. You're gay.
So?
You're gay.
So what?
You're gay.
So?
That's all I'm saying. Not that there's anything wrong with that.
I'm not afraid of gay people.
I am not gay, senor. You just make me do gay things.
So, I don't mean it in the gay sense. I mean it in the
South Park version?
Yes.
Yes.
Whatever that is. Welcome to episode 212. Obviously, John's not here. We'll give him a participation trophy later. Or non-participation.
Everybody gets
one. John's still on summer vacation. That's his problem.
Yeah.
We'll be back with some Jay's Brewing a top 10 and everything next week for episode 213. That's already in the works.
Jay's Brew.
So we needed to fill some spots. So I said, well, what useless person can I get to come in and do this? So
that's it.
Actually, this is RockPod number 4. 2 RockPods in a row.
Wow.
Wowee. And we promise we're not going to talk Kiss.
You already did. You broke your promise already.
No, we're not going to talk. We're not going to have a whole episode.
Okay.
Is that better?
That's better.
All right. Glad you feel better about that.
I like your hat.
Asshole. No, we didn't. we didn't make a phone. Actually, we didn't notice till we hit record. So
we're just anticipating the championship. That's all.
Yeah. Hang on a second. Let me look up something real quick.
Okay.
Talk to the camera.
Talk
to John where you want to yell at things about him.
Yeah, so John, we need to come down here and clean this up. This is disgusting. You're, beer all over the place, empty bottles and cans. Well, no bottles, but cans and glasses, and there's papers all over. Come on, dude. That's it.
That's it?
That's all I got to say. What do you want me to say to him?
Okay.
I love you, John. I love you.
I am not gay, senor. You just make me do gay things.
Not that there's anything wrong with that.
No, not that there's anything wrong with that.
No. You know what? I'm going to start cleaning up for you.
Don't do that. Don't do that.
Let's get this cleaned up here.
Don't do that. Me and you were having a discussion because we love the Rolling Stones, usually all-time lists and everything else, because we just want to go and beat ourselves with a mallet afterwards.
The Rolling Stone.
Yeah. Rolling Stone magazine, the shit stone.
You're nothing until you make the cover of the Rolling Stone.
Ain't nothing till you make the cover of the Rolling Stone. I don't think that's quite that anymore.
Yeah, well, I think the aging hippies behind it are all dead, so.
Or getting there.
Or
retiring at least. Thank God. Thank God.
When they still think, bands from the 60s are still relevant after 40 years, it's kind of,
And it's funny, somebody commented, the list that just came out as of lately, or at least that came to my attention as of lately, is the top 10, or the top 50 hair band albums. Which is kind of funny because when hair bands ruled basically everything in the in the 80s, Rolling Stone just ignored all of them completely. Now all of a sudden they want a top 50. Now they act like they have an opinion on what the top 50 is. Is that what you're doing? You're looking it up?
Yeah, I'm looking it up right now. Hold on.
Yeah.
You told me it was a little bit disgusting what they did. So I'm just curious here.
Well, they actually, I think they have most of the albums that I would probably put on there. The order is kind of ridiculous, obviously. That's what usually happens. And I think they missed 2 huge albums of that era, too. But, like number 50, this Lord Tracy, Deaf Gods of Babylon. Who the fuck is that?
Okay, I can give you some information. So Lord Tracy was originally named Tracy Lords after the porn star. She sued them. They changed their name. They came out really
1989.
I was going to say at the end of the 80s.
So they were in the what we call the watered down section of hair bands.
Yeah, they were a bad band, but they were in the the area with the bands that kind of they were just signing. Just everybody was getting signed at the end of the 80s just because you had makeup and hair, long hair. So, and this is not bringing this up. So anyway, yeah, so that's Lord Tracy. They had a couple good tunes. But, so what was next?
Number 49, and we're going to try to just skim through a lot of these, so don't worry. We're not going to have major discussions on every one because we'll be here forever. Number 49 was Mr. Big, Lean Into It.
Now, see, Mr. Big, I think, should have been way higher on the... They were actually a really decent band.
And they had... but you come to think about it, though, I mean, you talk about album-wise, that was their biggest album, and they had, one hit off of it, really?
I think it was a cover tune, too, actually.
To Be With You was a...
no, they actually redid...
Wild World.
Wild World,
But
right.
the To Be With You was...
Was theirs?
That was a bigger hit than Wild World. That was the big hit.
I guess I'm looking at talent more than I am at, because they had,
Paul Gilbert and Billy Sheehan.
Paul Gilbert and Billy Sheehan, right?
Yeah. That's, and funny, down the line, they had Richie Kotzen in the band for a while. In the 2000s? I think it's in the 2000s.
I don't know.
Because they actually had a hit overseas with a song called Shine with him in the band. Obviously, I think he was singing and playing guitar, so they were a 3-piece.
Yeah, that's horrible because their singer was great, Mr. Big singer.
Precious Metal, Right Here, Right Now, 1985.
Female band.
Yeah.
So I believe Precious.
I never heard of them.
I believe Precious Metal was. I get it mixed up because Steel Panther used to be called, I believe, Rock School, and I think Precious Metal was something else too. But were they around 85?
85.
85. They were female metal band. They were okay.
Never heard of them.
They were okay.
Number 47, Lita Ford, Lita.
Lita was a decent album.
Again, the funny thing is she had the real big hit with, Kiss Me Deadly, and then Close Your Eyes Forever, and then what else really was after that?
Well, her first, she had her first few solo albums were really, really good. Women don't get a lot of recognition in this genre of music. They're kind of almost laughed at as guitar players and stuff like that. And Lita's great, man. She came from the Runaways. The Runaways were a killer band, and she's a good guitar player too. She really is. And I don't think she gets enough credit. She really doesn't. So her first few albums were really good, though. The Kiss Me Deadly thing, that's what she's always going to be known for, unfortunately. Yeah. That's it.
Because that's the one that was the biggest hit for her.
Right.
Kick Tracy, No Rules, 91.
Awesome band. Awesome
really?
Band. Jake, a friend of ours, Jake Schaefer, old bandmate of ours, we were into Kick Tracy big time. They were across... I would say between Guns N' Roses and who would you maybe A modern metal. They were across there. They had a few really good songs. They've got a few albums out, but they're a good band to check out. That first album they put out was really good. No Rules.
Yeah. That was 1991.
Yep. So they were over the cusp there. They were into the 90s.
Well, I mean,
You had a few bands that survived.
hair metal really didn't die off until about 93.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? 93 and 94, it's right around 93 or 94 where you saw the really sudden drop off, and then all of a sudden there was the Who Was Left Standing kind of thing. You know what I mean?
Yep.
So I mean, everybody just thinks hair metal in the 80s. That's true, but it lasted into like 93, 94.
Next band on the list was Smoking too.
Pretty Boy Floyd.
Pretty Boy Floyd was a
Leather Boys with Electric Toys.
Poison.
I'm sorry, that sounds...
I am not gay, senor. You just make me do gay things.
You put it out there like that. That sounds...
cross between Poison and Motley Crue.
So they were a Poison crew?
They were a Poison crew. That's great. Poison crew. Let's see if you can get away with that one. Really good album, man. Good album.
Well, here it is. They did a cover of Motley Crue's "Toast to the Town." It says.
Yep.
So, there's the Motley Crue part of it. Oh, number 44.
You swore.
Well, I know. I said we'd never do a full podcast probably again.
This should be much, much, much higher on the list, by the way.
Yeah, we're biased, but it probably should be. Kiss, Lick It Up. You know, I understand probably why it's the only Kiss album of the 80s on there. Because it's probably close to one of their the best album of the 80s.
I would say Creatures of the Night is a killer heavy album. I can't believe
yeah, but then see that's the problem with Kiss is they're trying to say that this album was a hair metal album, which I don't necessarily think Kiss was really truly hair metal. You know what I mean? Mm-hmm. They never quite were hair metal. You know, so I don't know where you want to put that. That's the difficult part. But at least they picked probably the best album of the 80s, barring Creatures, obviously.
So Kiss was a band that used to put makeup on.
Yeah. So they took the makeup off and became a hair band, huh?
Yeah.
Huh? That's peculiar. But yeah, that should be a lot higher. I think if you're going to put that album on there, it's got to be a lot higher.
You can skip the next two because the next one sucks, and I don't know who the fuck these guys are.
Vixen, yeah, we know who they had. They had one big hit.
I don't know who Dad is. DAD.
DAD. No fuel left for the Pilgrims. That sounds more. No fuel left for the Pilgrims sounds. It should be more like an REM album or something. Yeah, I don't know. AC/DC type riffs. No, they didn't even come close. So, the 89. Well, they were. You're talking probably 87 to 88 is when the real watered down starts of hair metal, and which of course are. The Eddie Trunk, who we do follow and watch and like, he hates that term.
What's that?
Hair metal.
Yeah. We love Eddie. Eddie's awesome.
Winger. I never got into Winger. I missed. I
didn't even like him in Alice Cooper, to be honest with you. I thought he was too.
I just missed it. I just missed this. This album didn't connect with me for some reason. I don't know why. It didn't. I was like, okay. That's great, but it just didn't do anything for me. Stryper, To Hell with the Devil, number 40.
Very good album.
And never a big Stryper fan.
Yep.
So.
Oh, I can't believe 39.
Yeah, higher than Lick It Up, really?
The guy wrote Lick It Up, basically.
Well,
Vinnie Vincent Invasion.
He didn't write the whole goddamn album, but Jesus Christ. Vinnie Vincent Invasion.
He's got to be. He must know somebody there.
Yeah, right. Because, come on.
Because I know they hate Kiss, Rolling Stone, and Cream. So
Well, that's probably what this is a big fuck you. Now, Cream didn't hate Kiss, I didn't think. They did enough with them that I don't understand.
They towards the 90s they did, but
Back
no,
in-
you're right. You're right.
Cream did that whole-
they're the one. Aren't they the ones that got the pictures of them with no makeup on it first, and then they said, "Whoa, you can't."
Yeah,
do
but
that."
not only, but I remember the first all makeup, like Cream magazine had a full issue of just all Kiss.
maybe it was Rolling Stone. You're right.
Oh, it's Rolling Stone. Absolutely, I know that. I didn't. And Cream, I don't remember ever being a problem with them.
That first Vinnie Vincent album was really good. I thought it was great.
That's this one, right?
Yeah, Invasion.
Yeah. Yeah, it's not going over. Look it up for me. Number 38. Oh, John loves these guys.
Well, they're actually it's Brittany Fox, and
Yeah.
Brittany Fox
That
was the guitar player and the bass player were the original members of Cinderella with Tom Kiefer. Or no, it was the drummer and the bass, the drummer and guitar player, I think.
no, I thought Curry was the drummer for Cinderella.
No. What I'm saying is, I think it was a guitar player and a bass player from Cinderella didn't look right, so they fired them and they hired.
This is obviously before Night Songs. And before
It's
okay.
before the album. So they hired whatever the two.
The two that were in, as we know it,
Cinderella, and then these guys got a Tom Kiefer look-alike and sound-alike and became.
That's not a sound like he's not as good of a singer as Tom Kiefer.
Well, no, he's got a Paul Stanley thing happening with him, but
not vocally.
no, look-wise.
Yeah.
I dug Brittany Fox. They were okay.
To me, it was like that. That's when I was just like, oh, really? We're really starting to regurgitate now.
I know we all love the next band.
Bang Tango. I did own that album.
Singer went on to a band called Beautiful Creatures. I think I played a little bit for you.
Did you?
Yeah, way back. Another good band. Guy's a great singer.
It was different, that's for sure. It had a lot of there were. You know what? That's probably what made it stand out to me. It probably hooked me as it wasn't your typical. I didn't see. I wouldn't necessarily. I think that they're a band that's getting sucked into the hair band things. I don't know. Their sound wasn't exactly hair band.
Second time I heard a singer with that Axl Rose type of tone to him too.
Yeah,
He had that, but he could really belt, man. That guy was great.
yeah, they were
Is
a pretty
great.
good band. Alice Cooper, Trash.
Yep.
Yeah, I mean, I don't even know anything except for Poison off of that.
See, this is the thing. All these bands that originated in the 60s and 70s, they had a couple of big hits in the 80s, and they were classified as hair metal. And Alice Cooper and Kiss are the farthest thing from hair metal that there is. They're more.
So I guess maybe they're looking at it as this is the closest they came to a hair metal album.
I don't know, but they are more theatrical rock than anything. They're not.
Glam.
Well, yeah.
Call them glam before.
See, the hair metal thing I consider glam. You know what I mean? But glam was around back in the 70s. I mean, they used that
Glam
term.
was really kind of glam was a bit different. Where I mean, they had bands were more freaking like literally had costumes. More costumes.
Well, right. And that's what I consider the New York Dolls. I consider Twisted Sister. And people, like I said,
Sweet.
Sweet, right.
Yeah. What do you call it there? Oh, come on. We just mentioned him.
Yeah.
Bang.
T-Rex.
T-Rex. Thank you.
Bolin.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Mark Bolin. Mark
Bolin with T-Rex.
I thought you were going to go back to the crazy world of Arthur Brown.
Well, that's
But see, is he glam or is he Arthur Brown is more shock or
shock rock. You see, there's intertwining. You know what I mean? There's kind of intertwining of the whole thing. You know what I mean? At that point, number 35, Badlands. If you listen to that album, that album.
That's a heavy
sticks
rock
out.
blues album.
That
man.
album sticks out from from the hair metal where they're getting hair. Okay, maybe they have long hair and they teased it a little bit, but they weren't hair metal at all.
You would throw them in a category of being more Zeppelinish or being
Well, they didn't have Guns N' Roses on here, which is fine.
Yeah.
I agree with that.
Yeah.
But why do you have Badlands?
Badlands
on there?
was a hard rock blues band.
Yeah.
They were not hair metal.
No, absolutely not. Absolutely not. And that album, not even close. Not even close. Great album, by the way.
Jake and I were also into this next band.
Junkyard?
Yep.
Never heard of them.
They had a real big hit called.
You and Jake were hanging out around 89 a lot, huh?
Yeah, we were. We were in a we were playing together in a 3-piece, and then I don't know what happened, but they had a big hit called "Simple Man," and not the Simple Man, not the
Yeah,
but
not the Skinner.
It was good. It was good, but they didn't really do much from there. That album was it. So they had their moment in the sun.
They had their one moment.
That's
Well,
not-
you got to remember a lot of good bands, obviously, that were just taking off in 88, 89, 90, 91. Suddenly, by probably 92, 93, 94, we're struggling because of the grunge scene, the grunge music, alternative music coming in full force.
Love will find a way.
Is that Saigon Kick?
That's Saigon Kick.
Never did anything for me. Again, 92, so they're in that,
So they also had a song in the movie Stone Cold with
I thought that was Bang Tango.
no. You know what song I'm talking about? The scene where they're going through the biker yard and stuff like that, and the music's playing in the background. Yeah, who the fuck? What's his name?
Bang Tango did have a song in there, though, when they were in the strip club.
Oh yeah, they did.
Yeah.
yeah. That's not the one I'm talking about.
In fact, isn't that them playing?
I'm not sure. Where William Forsythe and what's his name are in there beating the shit out of those guys or truckers or whatever.
Yeah.
Seen-
Yeah. Yep.
Brian Bosworth. Whew, thank you.
Number 32.
See, this is wrong too. I think this is another band who I think falls into the hard rock blues type of thing.
Yeah, I do. I believe that, but I see. I don't know. I don't mind putting them in there because they were kind of that line.
It's
You
great.
know what I mean?
Great White, by the way.
Yeah, Great White, twice shy.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? But I remember that single, man. We played that in John's car for fucking like a year straight.
Yeah.
That thing was that was a hot single at the time.
Boy, this was a great album. Slaughter, Stick It To You.
Yeah.
1990.
Yep. Yeah, that was a really
Actually,
good album.
all his records were great. He had a real promising future. I don't know what happened to him. I don't know what happened after
the second album was really good, but I think for some reason there were a couple bands like this, like Slaughter did it, Extreme did it. It's like suddenly they went, and I get it, they probably wanted to grow and everything else and all that, and didn't want to do another regular record, but they seemed it seemed like they, where a band usually grows in 4 albums and you see the difference. It's like with Slaughter and Extreme, it was like the next album they were trying to make more like epic songs and more.
Fly to the Angels.
No, Fly to the Angels was good. I'm talking about the Slaughter's next album, which I can't even remember what the name of it was. Something Real.
Yeah, I can't.
Real Love or something like that. But they tried to. It's like they tried to suddenly become like Slaughter tried to become like Zeppelin Slaughter, and Extreme tried to be Queen. You know what I mean? On the 3 sides to every story album.
I'm just skimming through this list, and I don't understand these guys. This next band was
Bullet
a
Boys.
one-hit wonder with a cover tune. I don't get it. You know why? Because the singer reminded everybody of David Lee Roth, and it was supposed to be the next Van Halen.
I didn't see it at all.
I didn't see it either because I was told to me all the time. But these guys were a one-hit wonder off of a cover tune, man. How are they freaking 30?
Yeah, exactly. Over like Slaughter, Stick It To You, and a whole
Another
bunch of-
one. We talked about these guys last night.
Dangerous
Another
Toys.
one-hit wonder.
Yeah.
And Dangerous Toys has got this fucked up, weird cult following. They got a big following. Everybody, I know so many people who dig these guys, and they're not bad.
I bought that album when it came out, but it wasn't like it didn't blow me away except for maybe a couple songs.
I mean,
Like Slaughter Stick It To You was a complete album. I like that album. You know what I mean? It's a strong album. Some of these just have a couple of songs.
This is killing me. This
Number
is killing
28,
me.
Black and Blue. Well, Tommy Thayer will be happy.
You beat Kiss, Tommy. Wow. No shit. Tommy's going, hey, Gene. Too bad.
I wonder if he is going, hey, Gene, look at this.
Maybe I get a little say in the next couple of years.
Oh, that would be
Fucking Black.
You on drugs?
That's what Gene's going to say to him.
You on drugs?
What was their big claim to fame? What was that song?
I don't remember hearing them at all.
Heaven. They had a song called not the
Warrant.
Warrant one.
Yeah.
But they had one, I believe, called
Or not the what do you call it? Bryan Adams.
Black and Blue. What
Yeah.
the fuck?
At number 28.
Not the first LA Guns, but Cocked and Loaded?
Oh, after that 27, yeah.
Oh, what was 28? I'm sorry, I skipped one.
That was Black and Blue.
Okay. Black and Blue. Yeah, 27. And then LA Guns, Cocked and Loaded, the first LA Guns album was smoking. Maybe we're not reading into this right. Are they going for what just looks like hair and makeup and costumes, or are they going for actual music?
It's supposed to be the album, so it's supposed to be the
So they think Cocked and Loaded was a better album than the first LA Guns? I mean, it had Ballad of Jane and
Never Enough.
Never Enough.
They're going by what charted. That's what they're going by.
Okay. Well then, okay.
They're going by what charted. You know what I mean? Number 26, to me, that album's way too low. It should be higher. You know what I mean? I'm not saying it should be like number 1 or something, but
Poison
it
open
should
up
be
and say
it should be higher than 26.
Poison opens up and say yeah. Well, again, this has been very confusing, and this is why I hate doing these Rolling Stones ones, because how frustrated
Well, we're here to talk about how frustrated we are.
How frustrated did you get when the guitar list
Oh,
came
the
out?
all-time guitar players. The ones they left off was amazing.
A lot of people were freaking out.
Oh
over that
my
one.
God! You have Joan Baez on there, but you leave Zach Wilde off. What in the living hell?
I know, Zachy got beat out by Joan Baez. Yeah,
What the
fuck outta
hell?
here.
I think didn't Joan Jett show up on there in the end too?
I don't. Well, they gotta do that,
Oh, that's bullshit.
because if they don't,
It's bullshit. And if you did it now and you put Nina Strauss,
God,
you know,
yeah, but Nina Strauss deserves. Listen, Joan Jett's a all right guitar player. She's a rhythm guitar player. She can pull off a couple leads, but she's no Nina Strauss.
well, here's part of the problem too. They have like Neil Young. Neil Young is not a great guitar player. Neil Young should be in the Rock and Roll Hall of Fame, I believe. I think he's still in the Rock.
we don't know at this.
Yeah,
point
at this
anymore.
point, I don't know who the fuck's in and who isn't. You know, a great songwriter. You know, he has one of the weirdest voices. That is very beautiful voice. I mean, he's amazing. But guitar player it's not. When we're talking about all time, this is where they have a problem. They sat there and they did stuff like, they put Pete Townsend high up on there. I love the Who, big Who fan.
Yep, me too.
Pete Townsend's songwriting is, as prolific to me as the Beatles. You know what I mean? Mm-hmm. And Jimmy Page and the Stones songwriting wise. But for you to put Pete Townsend in a top 5 of all time guitar players is a joke. Mm-hmm. Okay, he's the same with Keith Richards. Keith Richards is not listen, you don't have to be a great guitar player to write a fucking incredible song. You do not have to. You don't at all. That's not what we're talking about. We're talking about guitar players.
Right. Look at the Beatles. They were not the most
stellar
musicians.
George Harrison is not one of the if you're talking about guitar players, to me, is not one of the greatest guitar players of all time. You know what I mean? Is he an incredible songwriter? Absolutely. You know what I mean? And all those, you know what? And I'd even put him up higher than everybody's probably thinking I'm talking about, because he did forge a sound and and was in that. Sometimes it is where you land. Listen, I'm not a big Hendrix fan, but when he comes up number one, I get it. I don't complain about it.
Well, he was an innovator.
I get it. He was an innovator, right place, right time. You know what I mean? Because he just took something, over the hump.
Well, he was doing stuff sound-wise that had never been heard before, and it's copied today. I mean, the stuff he was doing. But, the Beatles...
Well, yeah, but if you really look at Hendrix, he was just a year or two before Jeff Beck was headed that direction. Jimmy Page was headed that direction to really, really start tearing it up in that heavier direction. You know what I mean?
What I was going to say about the Beatles is, if you listen to their music,
Clapton at the time was probably a little, for some reason, I don't understand why they say what Hendrix was doing was so much more revolutionary than what Clapton was doing in Cream, because the Cream was heavy. You know what I mean?
But the Beatles, though, if you listen to a lot of their music, it's layers. It's production. And that's what those guys are so great at. They wrote great songs, and then they heard all the stuff that could go into it and make it. And that's why Beatles songs are so great. I think they're the greatest band to ever live, to be honest with you. But as far as musicians, you can't sit there and say that George Harrison stacks up to Stevie Ray Vaughan or stacks up against
Steve Vai.
Steve Vai. Right. I mean, you just can't. I mean, I don't know how you can do that with a straight face. But this is why these lists are so frustrating and confusing. Really, they're confusing.
Yeah.
More than anything, because you look and you go, well, what are they basing it on? Are they basing it on talent? Are they basing it on a look, a sound?
Are they is what their impact and influence? Is that what you're also putting in there?
Right, because
you know what I mean.
Listen, it's the whole package.
Listen, Ace Frehley. Ace Frehley is the one that made me want to play guitar. Well, it made me want to play a Sunburst Les Paul. But I know he's not the great. He's probably not even in the top 30 greatest guitar players. Even in my book, I could put more on top of there.
Is he?
But he's got more influence, and he's got more. He's got more impact and influence than even maybe some of the guitar players that are ahead of him. So what are you do? You just can't throw it out there and just go like, well, this is this, and then it leaves such a wide spectrum.
Listen, you've got a picture. The other night when I was here, Bob's got a picture in his control room of Jimmy Page leaning back with a cigarette in his mouth. I'm like, I don't know. If I was somebody who didn't know who Jimmy Page was, I would think he was probably the coolest motherfucker on the... That dude just reeks charisma and coolness. That dude is a cool motherfucker. Can he play guitar? I don't know, but he looks cool with one on him.
Yeah.
And we all know Jimmy's a great guitar player and a songwriter, but he's not another one who's not on the... he's not on the top rung either. I mean, he's great.
He usually makes it. He usually makes it around the top 5.
But what I'm saying is that you listen to him live, and I think this is with anybody / Ace, anybody. There's a little bit of sloppiness, but I think that's what makes him. It's the realness.
Well, yeah.
It's not.
It's more it's that bluesy style than it is technician wise.
I mean? Dimebag Darrell made a statement. He's like, I'd rather hear a guy bend a note to the point where it goes out of tune and there's massive feedback than some guy that can go,
Yeah.
He goes, that's way cooler, bending a note and almost busting the string off.
Yeah, I've become more of a huge Steve Vai fan and a Satriani fan, and that more technical. But you're talking about those guys who are at the top of it. They just don't go. They do it at a certain, and they just have a knack of doing it melodically in the right spot.
It's melodic,
and it's in the right spot, and that's where it gets you. But anyway, we'll get back to this list. Well, actually, no. But since we are far off, we'll come back to this list in just one momentito.
In your face, all over the place.
We're online 24/7. 24/7.
You're listening to the hottest internet station.
Bob and John Super Duper Variety
So long, gay boys.
I mean, what are you thinking about, Jerry? Marriage? Family?
Well,
They're prisons! Man-made prisons. You're doing time! You get up in the morning, she's there. You go to sleep at night, she's there. It's like you gotta ask permission to use the bathroom. Is it all right if I use the bathroom? Really? Yeah, and you can forget about watching TV while you're eating.
I can?
Oh, yeah! You know what? Because it's dinner time. And you know what you do at dinner? What? You talk about your day. How was your day today? Did you have a good day today or a bad day today? Well, what kind of day was it? Well, I don't know. How about you? How was your day? It's sad, Jerry. It's a sad state of affairs. I'm glad we had this talk. Oh, you have not!
All right, you primitive screwheads, listen up.
Time to make the chimmy fucking chongas.
You can find us at Bob and John's Podcast at gmail.com, on buzzsprout.com, Spotify, and iTunes, or at Loose and Buttery on the Twitter and Instagram and Facebook Live, and on our YouTube channel and our Facebook page, Bob and John's Super Duper Variety Power Hour. And get your little ass over to 151online.com and check our shit out. Boof. Done. Boof. Poison, we were saying at 26, open up and say, I think that should be a lot higher. I thought there were a lot. I thought, to be honest with you, I know you like Look What the Cat Dragged In better, but I like the songs better on Open Up and Say Out. That they were stronger songs.
I saw this advertisement. I was like, who the fuck are the Mayans? Oh, Mayans. Okay.
You twit.
Mayans MC premieres tonight. It's going to get good, folks.
Stop. They're not paying us. I don't care for that. I don't care for it.
Well, you didn't want to watch it, so I can't help it that you missed out.
I tried to watch it.
Well, you should have, because it got super good at the end, and now it's going to be super good.
Well, you need to get in.
Anyway.
Number 25, David Lee Roth, Eat 'Em and Smile. You know what? Probably, I don't know. What do you think? Maybe, do you think that's right where that is, or do you think that should be higher? Maybe a tad higher?
I would put that more in the top 40s, maybe. I wouldn't.
So you think it's way too high then?
Yeah, way too high.
Really? Even with all the impact on that album had?
It was impactful because you had Steve Vai in the band. You had, and I know a lot of people know Greg Bissonette is, but incredible drummer. And you had Billy Sheehan. I mean, that's why that album was so incredibly popular.
But see, how does that, which is basically a pseudo Van Halen album, any of those songs could have been on a Van Halen album. Okay, so you're making that the top 25 hair band album, but not one Van Halen album made the list. Where is 1984?
Like I said, I don't get this. I don't get the people in makeup. And
where is 1984? Because their lead singer at the time certainly looked like a hair band singer. Probably was the inspiration for a lot of hair band singers.
Yeah, oh, yeah.
Yeah, you know what I mean?
Yeah, I mean, the 80s look with the rhinestones and the glitters and the...
that's Dave.
You know, I mean, come on,
Dave
man.
up there shaking his ass.
I mean, half the look in the 80s was based off of him.
Yeah.
This next band,
Enough's enough.
I never got these guys. Enough's enough. They are raved about. I don't get it. I don't care about them. Next.
Obviously too high then for you. Where you're
way too fucking high.
Hanoi Rocks, Self-Destruction Blues, 1982.
Awesome
Number
band.
23.
Awesome band.
I haven't really heard any of it.
You should really start checking Hanoi Rocks out. They are an incredibly good band.
Is that the only album they put out?
No. They have a bunch of albums out.
No, that was the only. Was that the only album with the guitar player there that died? Drummer.
Razzle.
Razzle.
Yes, because I believe that they were just breaking.
Just breaking. Yeah, they were just. I know they were just breaking, but
if you want to see where Axl Rose copped his moves and his attitude from, all you got to do is watch Michael Monroe. The guy stole.
Says Finland's missing link.
Yep.
Between the New York Dolls and Guns N' Roses.
Absolutely.
Lacked the vocal and instrumental oomph of either.
And that's not true because Michael Monroe's a great singer. I don't know where they get that from. But this is also the Rolling Stone. They were. If you watch them, they have the New York Dolls, they have the Guns N' Roses thing, but they also have a Stones thing going on. I don't know. I can't put my finger on it. Maybe it's the attitude and the way they play.
Attitude.
They were a great band. Great
Number
band.
22, White Lion, Pride. Great album.
Great album. Way too high. And
I think it's a bit too high. I think you could have rolled them back a little bit farther, maybe around 30, 29, something like that. But a great album. You know what? I shouldn't say that. I should say that I just felt that there are a lot more albums that came before on this list that should be before them. Slaughter, Stick It To You should be higher up. Hey, maybe it's just me being biased, but Kiss, Lick It Up should be, you know what I mean, at least somewhere around 20.
And here they finally got one right, but put it way too low on the list. And not really a hair band. See, they're going after all
Where's
these.
the other? Are you talking about Dokken?
Yeah.
Ugh. I never liked Dokken.
And they're going after all these guys'
every
second
single
albums.
Dokken song, every fucking Dokken song sounds the same to me. It sounds like there's lack of pop and power to it, and it's just a monotone mush. To me, that's what Dokken sounds like.
So you're saying you don't like them?
No.
Okay.
Do you leave them right off the whole damn list?
This next band, another one-hit wonder. I can't believe this fucking band is in the top.
Never
20.
heard of them.
Blackout in a red room. That fucking. You never heard that song? Oh.
No.
Okay, skip them.
Okay. Well, we'll say who it is. Love and Hate. Blackout
Love
in
and
the Red
Hate.
Room.
Well, yeah. I don't even feel the need to mention them.
Cherry Pie by Warrant. Yeah, I mean, it was a strong album. Had a lot of stuff. Had a lot of good songs on it. You can't. It's definitely their opus. That's for sure. You know what I mean? But again, I'm not putting that before Open Up and Say Ah, and a lot of other albums that were up. Stick It To You. No, thank you. You know what I mean? That's not going before that. You know. I think that album in retrospect and in history gets blinded by the song Cherry Pie, and then nobody goes and digs deeper in on that album. That's the problem with that album. You know what I mean?
Yep.
I loved Uncle Tom's Cabin. I like that better than Cherry Pie. You know, there's a lot of good songs on that album. Cinderella Night Songs.
They got another one right. That was a great album.
Night Songs? Yeah. I think I would have put it. Yeah, it's probably right. Maybe I'd put that around 20. You know what I mean? Couple back. But obviously, they were just hitting their stride on a lot of stuff on that. You know what? Nobody's Fool and Somebody Save Me. I wasn't a big fan of those Cinderella songs because they were kind of plotting, and you know what I mean. That dark plotting thing, and I just Shake Me's a great song. Number 17, Pyromania. Probably a little low, I feel.
Yeah.
I feel like should be a lot higher.
That was a very...
fucking Photograph was huge. You know, same with Rock of Ages and Foolin'. Christ's sakes, you can't listen to a station like Pix when I hear a Def Leppard song.
That's an album that I can honestly say probably didn't have one bad song on it.
Probably that should be a top 10.
That should be a top 10 album of all time.
Yeah.
Of that genre of music. That album was incredible.
Yeah.
So, once again, they missed the mark.
Yep. Number 16, Stay Hungry, Twisted Sister.
Great album.
I feel it's a little bit high.
Great album.
I like a lot of the stuff off of it though. I do dig the of course we're not going to take it out on a rock, but what song was it that's on there? The Price is on there, right?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, The Price was an underrated song. Killer song. You know, but you think that's a little bit high for this?
Yeah, I don't know. I'm biased because I'm a big Twisted Sister fan, so I can't.
I'm not talking much lower. You know what I mean? But you think that should be in the top 20?
I definitely, probably not, but I definitely think
shouldn't be higher than Pyromania. That's for damn sure.
No, it shouldn't be.
And I'm still putting Slaughter, Stick It To You, up in the top 20. That's for sure, and Open Up and Say Ah. Quiet Riot, Metal Health. Yeah, there's a big album. Big fucking album. That's for goddamn sure. Huge album for...
Yeah.
Okay, now you're talking hair metal, okay? Why don't you put Ozzy in here?
Yeah, listen, like I said,
Ozzy. He was looking like a blonde fat woman with teased hair.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
That's what he was really drinking.
Yeah, but why isn't Diary of a Madman or help me? What's the other
Blizzard
one?
of Oz.
Blizzard of Oz.
You listen. You're preaching to the choir, man.
What when they were going through them, did they tip and say Ozzy's not hair metal?
I think what they did is everybody went through their old album collection at home and just threw them on top of the fucking table and said, "I can just rank these. So have an intern rank these."
I guess and I'm not saying I don't believe Ozzy was hair metal, but the problem is you're throwing in these other Ozzy's. To me, Ozzy's as hair metal as Kiss is.
Listen. A few of these bands, more than a few of these aren't. I wouldn't consider hair metal.
Yeah.
See, hair metal to me is a look. It's an attitude. It's glam. It's glam to me, and that's what it is. And
unfortunately, Twisted Sister does fall in this category.
Yeah, they do.
themselves.
Once again, now we have number 14, Warrant.
Well, hang on a second. Mental Health. Where do you think? You think that's sitting? Or you think that should be a little bit higher?
That should probably be higher.
That should probably, the impact of that album alone should be higher.
I'm just skipping ahead, looking at these. Like how's Warrant, Dirty, Rotten, Filthy, Stinking Rich?
There's no number one. I don't know how that gets above their other album, Cherry Pie. I don't see how it.
It had one great hit song on it called "Poor Down Boys."
No, it had Heaven too.
I had Heaven. Okay, so
that's it.
That's it. Two songs.
That's it. That's really it.
This band isn't even a hair metal band, and
this band is so not a hair metal band.
This next band is not even a hair metal band,
but it's at number 13, which it shouldn't be at number 13 because it's not a hair metal band at all. But it's a fantastic album. Is Extreme 2 Pornographic Graffiti.
Porno graffiti.
Sorry.
Yeah, extreme.
How are they a fucking hair band?
I don't know, and this is why I can't look at these lists anymore because it's just ridiculous and stupid.
I don't get that either.
Number 12, I would agree with, but it should be higher.
We'll wait till you see what's above that. And let me tell you, I still have the two albums that should be.
I can't wait.
That should easily be in the top 10 that aren't even on the fucking list.
I can't wait to hear these. Number 12 is Whitesnake, self-titled.
Whitesnake, yeah. The 1987 Whitesnake album. Are you fucking kidding me?
That was like
there's like 5 commercials on television right now using Here I Go
song.
Again.
Yeah, I know.
Here I Go Again. The one song, and there's like 3 different companies using it. Don't get ahead.
I'm sorry, man. My eyes just almost fell out.
Don't get ahead of yourself. Don't get ahead of yourself. Now, Whitesnake probably should be in the hair band category. You know what I mean?
Yep.
They put themselves toward that direction. You know what I mean? And this is the right album to be here, but it should be easily top 10.
They went from from a rock blues Zeppelin-y type of sound to
Deep Purple sound.
Deep Purple sound.
They were if you go back and listen to their first couple albums that were only released in the UK and stuff, which actually have songs like Here I Go Again and stuff, basically before they did slide it in, they sounded more like just basically continuation of Deep Purple with David Coverdale singing, because that's what David Coverdale obviously came from, was Deep Purple. Yep. And I think John Lord was an original member of Whitesnake.
John Lord was.
Yeah.
So was Sykes. John Sykes.
No, John Sykes was not.
Was he?
No, Bernie Marsden, I believe, was one of the first guitar players. John Sykes came on and added and re-recorded guitars for Slide It In. Slide It In was already released in the UK.
Oh, is that what he did? Okay.
So he came in and added guitars and stuff. So he wasn't even a songwriter, I believe, on that.
John was never in that band?
John Sykes?
Yeah.
Oh, yeah. He's Whitesnake 87. That's
Okay,
him. That's
right,
all
right. Okay,
John
okay,
Sykes.
that's what I thought,
That's where John Sykes is really Whitesnake.
Okay.
You know, his guitar playing was on Slide It In.
Right.
But not his songwriting, I believe. His songwriting was not. It was just he came in and redid all the guitarists for the American release.
That's
so that
the self-titled one. That's a super group, right? That's the one with Tommy Aldridge and Rudy Sarzo and
this one?
Yeah.
The 87? Yeah. That's I don't but then again, I don't know who played on it. I mean, other than I know it was John Sykes, but he left right after because he's not in any of the videos.
right, because it's
Vivian Campbell
Vivian Campbell
and
Rudy Sarzo, Tommy Aldridge,
Vandenberg there.
yeah.
Adrian, it was Adrian Vandenberg. No, is it? Forget his name.
I know. Yeah.
The guy that stuck around forever that gets no credit because he was like every single
He's
time.
buried in the background too in all the videos.
Every single time like John Sykes drops out, probably this guy Vandenberg's time to shine. No, we'll bring in Vivian Campbell. Okay, Vivian Campbell leaves. No, it's my turn. No, we'll bring in Steve Vai.
And David Coverdale, god damn, he's got to be one of the best rock singers in the planet.
Yeah. I think this should be higher. Absolutely higher.
I'm very hurt at the next one, man.
Okay, how you heard it? It's
They
Tesla, the great radio controversy.
They should probably that album should be top 5. That was one of the best. That's another album. Not one bad song on it.
But then again, Tesla really, I didn't consider that hair bandy.
And you know something?
I get why they're kind of put in there.
I think it's unfair that they're putting these bands 2 albums on here. They're putting 2 albums a piece. It should be 1 album. What was their influential album?
Yeah, they could do. But when you have more than 1 album, that's, you know what I mean, of that time period, that gets into there.
Wow.
So you think that should be top 5? I think it should probably be around 6.
Yeah.
For me, 6, maybe 7. That's stretching it, but 6. I feel it's a good pocket for that one. I love this next album, number 10. To me, they finally got the 2 albums right, and they put the better album. It seems like these bands that have multiple albums, they're putting their first albums higher when their second album was the actual better album.
I just said the opposite. I said they keep going with these guys' second albums, and the second albums don't.
I disagree. I think Poison Open and Say Ah is a lot superior than Look at the Cat Dragged In.
This one I agree with you on.
Cinderella, Long Cold Winter, 1988. Wore the fuck out of this tape. Loved it.
Yep.
Loved it. Killer.
Absolutely.
I mean, and the funny thing is, the music on the album is going way farther away from hair metal. It's become like Tesla and Cinderella were more blues rock than hair metal. You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
But I'm happy with where that one lies there. I'm good with that. Number 9, Motley Crue, Too Fast for Love, one of my favorite Crue albums.
Absolutely, I think it's that and Shout at the Devil. You can cut Crue off there for me.
No. Listen, if we wanted, Motley Crue's heyday is really Too Fast for Love through Dr. Feelgood. First 3 Crue albums, I love. Shout at the Devil. I love Theater of Pain. Me and you had a discussion about this. It was just recorded poorly.
Yeah.
The production on it was terrible.
Recorded in a cave.
A muffled cave. But the songs are so good on that album. And then, yes, you've got the 2 big hits off of Girls, 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 which is Girls, 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 and Wild Side. Otherwise, that album is trash. And I'm a huge Dr. Feelgood fan. Didn't make the fucking list, if you can fucking believe that. Probably, as a complete album, it's got great shit on it. It's got amazing stuff on it. I love that album. And Dr. Feelgood didn't even make it, which just blows my mind. Listen, I'm not saying they should be above Shout at the Devil or Too Fast for Love, but I don't understand how it's not on. It does not sit in somewhere on this list.
They've got these albums so out of order.
Number 8, really? Kicks Blow My Fuse? I can't even tell you a Kicks fucking song.
I can tell you a lot of Kicks songs.
I can tell you,
and they definitely don't deserve to be number fucking 8.
Number 8, come on, in a top 50, they should be back in like the 40s as far as I'm concerned. Don't you think so?
They had that big hit song. Don't close your eyes. That song.
Gonna blow my brains out.
Yeah, we can go right past that. These fucking guys are
Number 7. I don't know. In a top. Listen.
Really great album, but not top 10.
Yeah.
Great album. If you like,
I'm thinking. To be honest with you, I want to probably say around 30.
if these guys,
What do you think? Is that
yeah,
probably around number 30?
I would have to say
Maybe squeaking in the top 30.
If Aerosmith is the poor man's Stones and these guys are the poor man's Aerosmith. These guys were a great band. They had 2 really killer albums, Faster Pussycat, but they don't deserve to be in the top 10 by any means. And as I'm going down this list, I'm getting more and more frustrated because it's ridiculous what they're doing.
Number 6, I would probably... I'd have to put that in a number. I'd have to say maybe in the top 4 for me.
Rat Out of the Cellar.
Yeah, top 4. If you're talking hair bands, it's got to be in the top 4, right?
They were one of the biggest friggin' bands in the 80s.
And again, I'll say it. This album was definitely. I'll agree with you on this point. This one, this album was stronger than Lay It Down, but Lay It Down was just as big. The songs off of Lay It Down were all over the fucking place.
They were on
You're in Love, Lay It Down.
They were on a roll.
Yeah.
You know, they just were.
They were that. So why Lay It Down isn't in the top 15? You know what I mean? Why that isn't there? It's ridiculous. Oh yeah, but I mean, lack of communication. That's one of my favorite.
Wanted Man,
lack of communication. Back for More. I mean, and we're not even talking. We're not. Of course, obviously, we're not even the obvious, which is Round and Round.
Right.
You know what I mean? Number 5, great fucking album, and probably should be right where it is. You know what I mean? Yep. I don't see why that's not right where it is. Skid Row, the original Skid Row album.
Another not a bad song on the album.
No, you can listen to that album.
Yep.
Front to fucking back. You know what I mean? But then again, I translate that also with the Slaughter album, Stick It To You. I can listen to it from front to fucking back. You know what I mean? Stop jerking off your microphone.
I just freaking think he's coming loose.
Fuck you.
I mean, that Youth Gone Wild, I remember you, 18 in Life. And then you get to then you get into the album and you're talking about, help me with this, Big Guns starts off the whole album. You're talking about, help me with Here I Am. Just can't wait for, what do you call it?
I haven't listened to that album
for the
in 20 years.
or whatever. Yeah. Oh, Sweet Little Sister. Probably my favorite song off that album. Oh, my Lord.
I can't believe what the top 3 are. I'm like dude, this is ridiculous.
Top 4, Motley Crue, Shout at the Devil. Yeah,
Yep.
I can live with it.
I could live with that being number 1, but we're not going to get that.
I can't, where do you so you have a problem with number 3?
Really? Bon Jovi, Slippery When Wet.
To be honest with you, I agree with you. I can't believe New Jersey isn't on the fucking list. New Jersey should be in the top fucking 5 if you're talking about albums. That thing was all over the fucking place. I understand why. I think this should be in the top 10. I think this should easily be in the top 10. But New Jersey was so much bigger of an album for them. I mean, they were everywhere.
They put a Bon Jovi album on. They put a Bon Jovi album on. Number 2 is even more ridiculous. How is this number 2? How is this album number 2?
Because look at who were one of the 2 biggest bands that you're going to say hair metal. That's why. What are the 2 biggest bands when you're going to mention hair metal?
Okay, well, if you say so.
Poison and Bon Jovi. You know what I mean? I mean, they're the epitome of what they're calling hair metal. It's more of what it really has nothing to do that much with music, unfortunately. But Slippery When Wet, yeah, I think Slippery When Wet should definitely be in the top 10. But look what the Cat Track did, number 2. No fucking way. No fucking way.
I don't know how.
I put I put that in the top 20, and I put Open Up and Say Ah personally for me above Look What the Cat Dragged In.
I'm just confused, man. I don't understand. I'm looking at these and I don't get what anybody's thinking in that, and they really should have had somebody.
I get number one. I do.
But you think number one should have been over their last album? I think they got it backwards.
Personally, no, but I get it.
Had more hits.
Oh yeah, well, had like fucking like what did they have? They had like 6 hits off of that album.
Number one, can you guess who it is?
Yep.
Def Leppard, Hysteria.
Yeah, and I think Hysteria is a top 5 album. I do. But again, I think a part of our problem is we don't know what they're talking about.
Was that a Mutt Lang too?
Yeah, of course. Yeah.
Yeah, I think he produced everything in the 80s, didn't he?
Yeah, just about.
That's why everything from
AC. Then he got to the 90s and he produced fucking Shania Twain.
Yeah, he sure did. Once again, the Rolling Stone leaves me confused and frustrated, and I don't know what to say.
See, you're looking at it. I toward when you're starting to get toward the top 10, I started to understand a little bit more that it wasn't necessarily music. It was more of. But this is where they don't describe stuff. You know what I mean? Are you because number one is that you can't. If you're talking about the all-time hair bands of all time, just the bands themselves, then you can take a look at their impact and the way they look and everything. But if you're talking about just the fucking album, just the albums, you have to go by music because that's what an album is fucking music.
Well, the people who make these lists up are usually people who know nothing about music. And like I said,
think, Axel, makes my dick it.
To put Badlands and bands like that on there, which aren't even in the right genre.
It's funny because Cinderella in their music is a complete oxymoron, and I'll agree with that. They look hair metal, and they sound complete, and their music does not sound like hair metal.
They sound bluesy.
It's like it's completely contradictory.
How do you not put like Wasp? Their one album. I don't know which album it was. They had like 2 or 3 albums.
Because I think then it goes into heavy metal. There's the thing though. Where did hair metal and heavy metal,
whatever happened is rock and roll,
and hard rock. We'll even say hard rock. Okay.
Yeah.
Where did the 3 of them start?
I'll tell you where.
The lines are very hard.
You know where? Where
Kiss is hard rock, not hair metal.
This is what happened. Guys started putting eyeliner on, and they called it hair metal and glam metal. It's hard rock. Metal to me is Slayer, Testament, bands like that. That's metal to me. And there's different genres of metal, but this is all to me just rock.
Yeah,
just rock and roll, hard rock, whatever you want to call it. Whatever. It's just these guys have no clue what they're talking about, and
no,
like
sir, not one bit.
You get frustrated and confused, but these dudes are frustrated musicians. They don't know what they're talking about,
and like I said, how do you lead? And I'm not talking about where they should be on the list, just that they're not even on the fucking list.
Oh yeah,
well, so the 2 of the biggest albums of 1989. I mean, I'm not talking about like. They were like moderate. They fucking ruled 1989 was Dr. Feelgood and fucking Bon Jovi, New Jersey. Are you out of your fucking mind?
I still don't understand how Appetite for Destruction doesn't make it.
Because they actually put them where they should be in hard rock.
Hard rock? Okay.
Yeah. That's where
they have long hair.
Axl did have his hair teased in the video for Welcome to the Jungle.
And if I'm not mistaken, I think he may have even had a little makeup.
Oh, Jesus, hair metal right there.
So.
Crazy shit. Crazy shit. Yeah, you sit there and you wonder. And how only one Rat album got on there is amazing. If you're talking hair metal.
Well, I don't think it should be albums either. Maybe they should have made it top. I mean, I know they were going for albums, so I get it, but
okay. But here's Here it is, though. If you're talking, okay, so you're talking about most of these albums that were in the top 10 hits, right?
Yep.
Why is Too Fast for Love up there?
Okay. I got
Why
you.
is Too Fast for Love up there and Theater of Pain isn't?
Okay.
Theater of Pain had more hits.
You're right.
Smoking in the Boys' Room. Home Sweet Fucking Home.
I mean, Too Fast for Love was basically a demo album.
Listen, you're asking me. It's one.
And
of
they'll tell you that.
It's probably it's in my top 2 of that and Shout Out the Devil are the top 2 for me for Motley Crue albums. But how do you put it in there if all the other albums surrounding it you're talking about hits?
Tommy Lee will tell you that we didn't know what we were kids. We didn't know what we were doing. We were just excited we were recording, and it came out. Don't get me wrong. That's my favorite Motley Crue album. And I love all the songs on it, but yeah, as far as hits, it didn't get any recognition.
Yeah. So how does it? It's confusing me even more there. You know what I mean? If you're talking hits, I get why Hysteria is number 1 because it had the most hits out of every fucking album on that list.
If Rolling Stone's intention was to frustrate and confuse, they have done a sick job.
That awesome
job, Rolling Stone.
You're right, Greg. Thanks for correcting me. That's how I learn.
That's how we learn. That is Greg. Greg helps us learn all the friggin' time.
Which Greg? Your Greg?
That's the only Greg, right?
Oh yeah, we don't know any. Oh no, well we do know another Greg, but we haven't seen him for.
Oh no, he doesn't. I don't.
He's
spoken like a truly unfunny alcoholic.
Right.
Yeah. No. It's a big. We only have one Greg in this world.
You're right, Greg. Thanks for correcting me. That's how I learn.
You know, that's our Greg. Yeah. So I mean, it'd probably be funny because if you took another list probably of like top 50 grunge albums or alternative albums or whatever, people who love that genre would probably have the same thing. Like, what are they fucking doing? Mm-hmm. You know what I mean? Can you know what I mean? You know, and I only have one question for you: Beatles or Stones?
Beatles.
Most people, when they ask me, I just piss them off and go The Who.
Love the Stones, but
it's a terrible decision. Yes, I'm more of a Beatles guy.
And let me tell you, you think this?
I'm more of a Who guy than either of them.
I think it's funny is that people hear the Stones hits, and they think that's what they're all about. They have some smoking deep cuts.
Oh, so the Beatles,
incredible songs that you go, how is this not a huge song?
Yeah. Oh yeah, absolutely.
I just heard that song recently. With the who played Mystique there?
Which one?
The younger version.
Yeah.
Anyway,
I know what you're talking about.
She's diving into
Jennifer
pool.
Lawrence.
She's diving into the pool, and they got that Stone song playing. Something Colors. You know what I'm talking about? That song. She comes in colors.
Oh yeah.
I listened to that song. I downloaded it. And I was like, this song had to be huge.
Yeah.
And I never heard it before. You know,
what was that? What's that song? Monkey Man or something? Or that's another one of theirs. It's like,
yeah, I don't know.
That's like wicked blues. Yeah, it's just Yeah, you can go on those bands and go forever. But we're running over, so we're out of here. Say goodnight, dickhead.
Good night, dickhead.
Stadler? Yeah, what?
Is that it?
Yes, it's over. How'd you like it?
I don't know. I slept through the whole thing.
Well, you didn't miss much.
Well, good night.
See this? This is the kind of thing that just tickles my balls.